Hi, this is Jonathan from J2Food, and I thought I'd do some of these cooking videos to entertain you and give you something that you can be doing while you're all stuck at home. I too am inside. Usually I'm in a large commercial kitchen that I rent for my business, but for the time being I am cooking under quarantine. I'm kidding, I'm not quarantined. I'm just cooking at home. So you're going to make today, this is like an intro video, so we're going to do a Shabbat special. And this is a favorite that my family loves and make all the time, so I'm going to make easy chicken marsala. So a lot of people will use cooking wine. The ones you can buy in the supermarket, it's right by the vinegars. Those are fine to use. The only difference between this is like a real marsala wine. You can get this kosher, or if you're not kosher, you can get whatever at a regular wine store or a liquor shop, or you can order it online. It's sweet dessert wine. You'll find it where the cherries are. A bottle is probably get a bottle for $20. But you can use the cooking wine, the Marsala cooking wine from the store. It will still taste good. Your sauce will taste good. It's just very salty, so you'll have to be for preservative reasons. So you'll have to worry about that. Anyway, let's get started. So I have some chicken breasts here that I pounded out a little bit so they were all even thickness, and then I cut them in the middle because I don't want super huge pieces because it's stretched further, it's easier to cook. And so once I've cut, you always have to wash your hands after handling any sort of raw meat, especially chicken, because of salmonella. And you know, we were prepared for everything that's going on now. We were always washing our hands in the kitchen. But so now you put a pan on the stove. Non-stick is great, but not necessary. Just something that's wide with a little bit of a lip, because we're going to use the same pan to make the sauce and to finish with the chicken. Everything's going to be made in the same pan for the whole dish. So I'm making about 4 pieces. This will feed family of 4 or 2 or 3 really hungry people. So turn this on to about medium, I say. Let it go for a minute. Once it's starting to get really, really hot, then we'll add a little bit of olive oil in. You don't want to put the olive oil in now because then the oil will get really, really hot, and we can put it in, fry a little bit instead of something. So we take our chicken. You have to put it into seasoned flour. So just take whatever flour you have. This is actually gluten-free flour because I'm using up with my pantry. And you just season it, put some herbs in. I put, salt. Even though it's kosher chicken, which is already salted, you still have to put salt in the seasoning. It'll coat the outside. And I also add a little bit of granulated onion or onion powder because it gives it a little bit of that sort of aromatic, flavor, and it just tastes good. So just give it a little bit of a mix with your hands. It's fine, you're gonna get messy anyway. If you're afraid of touching food, don't make this, or wear gloves. So take our chicken, dip it in the flour, make sure it's not even coated on both sides, because not only will it help the chicken get a little bit of a crust, but it'll help us build our sauce later, instead of having to thicken it up with chemicals later on. So this is pretty hot now. So we are going to add olive oil, a little bit, like once or twice around the pan. Just enough until it's coated. Swirl it around. See how it's already really hot? So take this, put it in the pan, put it away from you. So if there's any sort of splatter, it hits the person back there. Chicken. Other piece of chicken. And don't worry if you can't fit everything in the pan at the same time. That's okay. You can do this in batches. The oil wasn't hot enough. Okay, so we're going to flip our first piece. It only needs a minute or 2 on each side because it's going to finish cooking in the sauce that we're making later. So here's the flip. This looks great. See, you just got a little bit of color on the chicken. Not too dark. Just going to be cooking the outside, and also as it starts cooking on the outside, it will continue to cook a little bit even after you remove it from the pan. So, in the meantime, I'm going to keep cooking our chicken. It's a really big piece. This is like, maybe you have, teenagers over or super hungry people. Maybe they've just gone to battle at the grocery store and they've returned. They're going to want this piece. And then our last one. Now, don't get rid of this yet. This flour is going to be really good to build our sauce later. We're going to make what's called a roux, which is a thickener. Instead of having to add flour directly to it to thicken it, the roux will be the base, and then the whole sauce will be thickened up because of that. So this looks like it's probably ready. You can see this is also on the outside. We can take these first pieces out. This one needs a little bit more time. And we can put these ones in. And if you feel like there's not enough oil, this might be true, add a little bit more to your pan. It will all get absorbed into the sauce later. Let it go for a minute.
Huh?
And while that's finishing up, I am just chopping up some mushrooms because this is chicken marsala, and chicken marsala has to have mushrooms. So I just have portobello mushroom now in my fridge because they're left over from a napkin full of them. So instead of buying the other mushrooms, I'm just going to use these. You can feel free to use any mushrooms you want. Portobello, sliced are really good. The blue button mushrooms are very classic American versions of this. You can use shiitake or maitake or what you fancy mushrooms. But portobello or cremini or button mushrooms, as they're known, are really more classic. What you find in a lot of those places now. Portobello mushrooms have a lot of dirt underneath the gills. You just have to make sure to get rid of the woody stem and just let it get off, just swipe it out a little bit. So these now you're ready to take out. I just have them waiting here on a plate next to the pot. It's going to be used for later. See, we have a little bit of crusty bits at the bottom. We have a little bit of residual oil. This is great. We want this because we are going to be building our sauce. So, we're going to take garlic. This is already minced garlic. You can use fresh cloves, you can use crushed garlic, you can even use gunpowder if you want, but this is super easy. You could buy either Costco or at the BJ's or Sam's Club, whatever. Put a little bit in. So we've taken our chicken out, we put some garlic in to saute. Now we're just adding a little bit of the flour mixture. Not a lot, maybe like a couple tablespoons. And we're just going to mix it around in the oil. This is going to build us a roux. It's going to pick up all these flavors that are in the pan and going to make a little bit of a paste that is going to thicken our sauce later on without making it lumpy or without having weird chunks of flour in it. So as you can see, it's already getting like thick, tasty a little bit. This is good. This garlic is in here, so it's going to flavor the whole dish now. Now, we're going to add our mushrooms because it's not chicken marsala without mushrooms. And don't worry if you think it looks too dry. It's not. Mushrooms are going to release their liquids as they cook. You know, you sweat vegetables, right? I'm borrowing a phrase from Food Network Chef Anne Burrell. What happens when you sweat? You start to smell, you release liquid. Same thing happens with vegetables. They start to release their liquids and they start to smell nice. So we're going to saute this for a few minutes. And you might be tempted to start seasoning now. Don't put salt in right now. If you put the salt in, it will make the mushrooms release their water right now, and what you'll be left with is a little bit more of a rubbery, soggy mushroom. You want it to saute, get a little bit crusty first, and then we'll salt it right before we finish up the salt. For a few minutes now, they're good, so now is the time to season them up. Season with some salt, sprinkle it from above, so it even distribution a little bit more. You have to season every layer. Otherwise, that's what makes food taste so good from restaurants and catering and stuff. You're not afraid to season. See, it's already with the addition of that salt, see how it's already, they're shrinking a little bit, more liquid is coming out. It works. Science, I promise. So, this looks great right now, but you're going to say, Jonathan, this looks really thick. This doesn't look like a sauce at all. And you would be correct. So what are we going to do with sauce? We need to add Marsala wine to make chicken Marsala. So I'm going to put this fan on high. If you don't have a fan, no big deal. It's going to be fine. Take it off the heat. Add your sauce. See, this is top. See, this is going to start building the sauce. This is getting like half a bottle. And then you put it back on the heat. If you did this on the heat, you'll get that flambe, which is very nice in restaurants, but scary in real life. Alright, so we've just been letting our Marsala wine simmer. Look how, as it's here, it's gotten thick. You want to let it get to the consistency. So the culinary term is nappe, which means that you can coat the back of a spoon. We're not quite there yet. It's a little bit. This is also silicone, but it looks great. What we do want to do though is, I like to stretch this out a little bit and also tamper down a little bit of the flavor. Give it a little boost of, it's been cooking all day, homemade. I'm adding a little bit of chicken broth. This is about a cup. If you don't want to do broth, or you want to make this vegetarian, you just want to do a mushroom Marsala as a sauce for noodles, or if you wanted to do this with fish, you can do it with, as a sauce and pour it over salmon, maybe. You can do it with halibut, would be delicious. Any sort of thick white fish would work in this, if you want vegetarian. But really, chicken is classic, but also veal is very classic. Veal is expensive, chicken's a little, stretch your budget a little. But so we're just simmering this. Still, you don't want it to boil. You just want it like a light simmer. You want some bubbles around the edges. Just until the alcohol starts to cook out. After it's been cooking for at least 5 minutes or so, you want to add your chicken back in. See, I told you we were not done with the chicken. So start with your biggest pieces first. Just put them in, nestle them down in there. Say hello to each other. You're going to be great friends. Another, nestle them, push them down a little bit if they need. This is not only going to get the chicken to finish cooking, but it's also going to tenderize it a little even more. And the chicken will absorb some of that delicious sauce. And the sauce will absorb some of the chicken. And then you want all of the chicken juices. Don't waste a drop, it's delicious. Alright, I have our pan. I'm going to put this down to medium low or simmer if you have it. And just take a piece of tin foil. Doesn't need to be the exact size, just enough to cover a lot of the surface. Right here. Fold it in a little bit, leave some air holes, and set it. Put it on low, medium low. Set it and forget it. So we're towards the end of our chicken Marsala. We have the sauce is thickened up. You see it's sort of coating the chicken really nicely. The chicken is nice and tender for being cooked in the sauce. It has absorbed their flavors. They become great friends. So now it's time to plate it up. I have this wonderful platter right here. I'm gonna just put the chicken down first. And right here. Doesn't have to be perfect. You just want it to be big guy. Here. here. And then give your chicken, your sauce in the pan, turn up the heat a little bit, give it one final reduction. When you cook the sauce down so that it gets thicker, that's called reducing it. So here, give it a nice scrape up any bits in the pan. You see it's like maybe a third or less, maybe a quarter of the liquid that we originally put in. And as it goes, it thickens up and the flavors also intensify. So I'm just going to give it a little bit of a taste. Hot. It's great. You just want to make sure for salt. So I'm going to turn this off. Let it stop simmering for a minute. So we're going to take our sauce, spooning it with the mushrooms over the chicken. Look how great that looks. You can be generous with all the sauce if you really want to create, especially if it's Friday night, you have challah, you want to sop it up, it's delicious for that. You can serve this over egg noodles or with rice, or my family often likes mashed potatoes. Chicken marsala, half an hour. And now, so I'm just going to show you how I might plate this. I just had this is couscous, lemon couscous with dried cranberries and pistachios, and these are just some roasted Brussels sprouts and green beans with lemon and garlic and some cumin, a little smokiness. I would just take a nice piece of chicken, maybe two. I would for sure take some sauce, extra sauce, because the couscous will drink that up. They love it. More mushrooms. Bon appetit.